Welcome to Our College, Your Voices. I'm your host, Kara Monroe. This week, we are going to dig into the new delivery method that we are introducing at Ivy Tech this fall called Learn Anywhere. Although many people think that Learn Anywhere came about as a result of COVID-19, we had actually been discussing this as a part of some of the work to help support single moms through the Single Mom Design Challenge that we're doing with a group called Education Design Lab. However, COVID-19 provided a reason to accelerate the launch of this new learning method. In today's episode, I'm going to talk with three folks from campuses that are offering a higher percentage of Learn Anywhere courses for the fall semester than some of our other campuses, just to find out how it's going and really just sort of level set on Learn Anywhere, since this is the first time we've talked about it on the podcast. So let's meet the guests today. And the first one is Tammy Frankland. Hi, Tammy.
Hi, I'm Tammy Frankland. I am the Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs at the Richmond campus.
Welcome, Tammy. And you are pretty new to the college. How long have you been with us?
I started mid-February and then COVID hit. Yep. And so I'm doing the virtual thing.
Yep. And you're back in your office today.
Yes.
Well, we're very glad to have you here. You've been a wonderful addition to the college family. So Welcome officially. Next up is Amanda Harsin. Hi, Amanda.
Greetings. I am Amanda Harsin, and I am the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs at the Madison campus.
Excellent. And last but not least is Mia Johnson. Hi, Mia.
Hello, Kara.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
I am Mia Johnson. I'm usually the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs at the Muncie campus, but as of yesterday, July 6th, I am the interim chancellor for the Anderson campus.
And we are so excited for you and so excited for the Anderson campus. So congratulations. Congratulations. Well deserved. All right. So let's dive into the conversation here because we had a lot of ground to cover today. So as we started talking about Learn Anywhere, Amanda, you shared with the Vice Chancellors for Academic Affairs in their Microsoft Teams group that you've had some personal experience with this format, I think, in your doctoral program. Can you share a little bit about what it looked like for you? And then we'll talk about sort of what we think it all means to us.
Absolutely. So when we started talking about Learn Anywhere as Vice Chancellors for Academic Affairs, I kind of instantly clicked back to an experience that I had had as a student that was really Learn Anywhere. And it wasn't called that necessarily, but a little bit about me as a student, I think reflects what some of our students go through. So I was going through a program that required me to commute 2 hours to school because my program was a significant ways away. And I'm a mother of 3 children and work full time. So I have a lot going on. And so I was always very strategic when I was picking my classes, like I think our students are. And I saw a class that was available in the classroom or by Zoom. And I needed one math class, and this was that math class. It was really a lot how I imagine Learn Anywhere now, because as a student, I got to choose whether I came into the classroom or if I would join by Zoom or if I got to watch a recording later, which is a lot about how I've explained it on our campus. So as a student, I attended the first class in the classroom. I wanted to get to know the teacher. I wanted the teacher to know who I was. And so I went to the first class. But then as I think back, I think I took the next couple ones on Zoom. It kept me off the road 4 hours a day. And I got to experience the class in real time with the other students, but I just didn't have that commute in. And that saved some space for me for homework or for my job or for my family. I also remember a time that I had to work one evening when class was happening. And so that allowed me to go back and listen to the recording. I was tested. I could have the option to even test in the classroom or virtually. That professor gave the option of taking the test by Zoom or in the classroom. So I have a lot of kind of preconceived ideas about what Learn Anywhere is just from my own experience, but it's something that I would like to be able to offer to our students, and I look forward to us being able to provide to them in that way.
Absolutely. So you alluded to in your response that you have some preconceived notion about what Learn Anywhere is. So I was on a call last week. We were talking about Learn Anywhere and asked 5 people what they thought it was and got 5 different answers, which is, I think, pretty common around the college right now. So let's spend a little bit of time talking about what you all think Learn Anywhere is and maybe what it isn't, because that's how these conversations sort of go. So who wants to start?
For me, I think Learn Anywhere is our most flexible option. Students may choose to attend the class in person, to attend virtually from wherever, or to do the entire course completely online. And while that's important, I think what's more important is you can change this at any time. You can believe that you're going to be attending face-to-face, and then something change with childcare, with school, with work, with life, and then decide you need to go virtual 1 week or online for a couple of weeks. And that's, to me, like the whole essence of Learn Anywhere. It's those options, and you can change it. When if you were to choose just a face-to-face course or just an online course, you don't have those options week to week.
I like what Mia said, and another thing that I think is really important about Learn Anywhere is it really does give the faculty a lot of flexibility in how they are able to accommodate the individual needs of students who are asking, oh, I need to miss class. What can I do to make it up when that system is already in place?
That's a really good point, Tammy. I hadn't thought of that yet, that, we all try to accommodate the needs of students, and now it's not a one-off. It's just a part of the design of the course. That's a great point. So I asked each one of you to join today because, as I often do, I crawled around Newt and got some numbers on what things were looking like for the fall. And you each had a pretty high percentage of classes scheduled as Learn Anywhere for the fall. It was about 8% for each of your campuses. So I'd love to know what the initial reaction from faculty and staff was to Learn Anywhere on your campuses.
I shared the narrative about what Learn Anywhere was to me and the experience that I have. I think some of the things that we've pointed out here that provides flexibility to the students and to the faculty when they have students coming to them asking for flexibility. So I presented the new class type to the faculty, and I said, I would love to have 2 or 3 sections on our campus of Learn Anywhere. And I said, I really want faculty that are eager and willing to come to the table and try this. And, I'm not going to ask anybody to, I just want volunteers. And when I asked it in that way, I had a great response. We have all disciplines represented. We have accounting and math and physics and advanced manufacturing and blueprint reading for welders. It was really just across the board. And, awesome. And I was very happy that I was surprised that it was so high, but very happy with how it turned out.
I was hoping just to get a few sections like Amanda, and I continue to be amazed by our faculty who just want to jump in and try it. I even had some faculty on the Richmond campus say, oh, I've been doing that all for a long time now. And that really surprised me.
That's awesome.
I think my story is very similar. Was hoping for a couple and just received way more than I ever expected. I was very excited about this because of my work with the Single Mothers Initiative. So I was already on board and thinking about this, and I'd kind of been mentioning this to some of my faculty. So when they were like, everyone can do this now, I had several very excited to jump on board.
I love the philosophy each one of you took. It wasn't that you said, we've got to get to 20% or 10 or 5 or whatever. It was volunteers, who wants to try it out? Because it is entrepreneurial in its straightest form, because none of us knows exactly what this is going to look like in the fall. So that's awesome. One of my favorite podcasts, they talk about volunteers, not recruits. So that is definitely the strategy you've taken. So as you've talked with your faculty and staff, what concerns have come up? Because this isn't ideal. It's tough. So what concerns have been raised, and how have you dealt with those?
I think the main concern for some folks was, how do I make this course engaging for all three delivery types kind of at the same time. I want the online students and the face-to-face to have the same level of interaction and experience. How do I make that happen? When typically online, it would be discussion boards. How do I make that work when I'm sitting face-to-face with some students? So that's been the one concern. And we've just kind of sat down and worked through different options. What can this look like? How can we do this? And we're still working some of that out. That's the beauty of it. We don't have it figured out all the way, but we're going to. And I love that they're thinking about those questions. They want everyone to have the best possible experience this semester.
One of the bigger challenges for my team is, are we going to have enough classrooms and the technology that we need? And of course, what about students who really want to do this and don't necessarily have the technology? Just how to navigate the management of Zoom in the classroom and then the recording. And so those were some of the things, like Mia said, we're still working through to figure out.
I would add on a piece about the technology and us being concerned about the level of technology in the room. So I know that our IT teams have been great at trying to create some specs for different sizes of rooms across the state. They've been working together, and those have been provided to us. I think back to my experience in the math class that I took, and just to show that nothing is going to probably be perfect. And for example, that room was great. It had all of the cameras. It had the voice sensors, so the cameras rotated when someone else was speaking. But I remember that whenever someone would bring a bag of potato chips in, they would eat their potato chips and the mic would pick it up. So it was like the highest technology performed a function, and that student that brought potato chips in would open their bag and crinkle their bag, and I would watch them eat potato chips instead of watch the teacher up front. So, I'm glad that the folks that are willing to try this first are going to be that flexible, spirited type that will be willing to try to work out some of these problems and then share their stories with other faculty members as maybe more want to try it.
We hope that every class goes perfectly, but as you have all said, probably won't. And we know that there are just going to be challenges to work through. So what are some of the characteristics that you've seen of faculty who are just like, I'm in, I'm going to do this? Are there any commonalities that you've noticed as you've thought about that?
I think, the one person that I'm thinking of is Autumn McNichols, and she's always on board for whatever.
Yep.
That saying, like, that's a terrible idea. What time? Not saying that this is a terrible idea, but
right. But that's Autumn.
She's like, let's do it. Let's try it. Right. We'll figure it out. And she's willing to do that and figure it out, and then go back and tell other people, how to do it better and how to be better. So it's that spirit. And I had that in some other folks, the same ones. Like, I knew the people who were going to do this, not because they're better than any other faculty members. It takes a certain type of thinking and person and flexibility, and let's try it. And those are the ones who are like, yes, let's do it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I've discovered that we have pioneers, and then we have our early adopters who let the pioneers figure out all the kinks. And then we have our early adopters. I don't think this methodology will work for every faculty member or every student either. And I'm just excited that it's another option we can provide.
I think one of the characteristics that I see in the faculty who have said, I'm in for Learn Anywhere, might be persistence, and that grit, that they know if they walk into the classroom that they can keep pushing through to make it happen and keep pushing through for the students. One instructor that I think of in particular really wanted to make sure that we had a Math 123 in a Learn Anywhere format.
That's awesome.
And he could not come to campus himself to teach it. So he wanted to, this is a little bit different model. He wanted to arrange for a tutor or a supplemental instructor or a teaching assistant, different campuses have different models, to be the person, to be the live person in the room, to turn it on, to answer questions. And he is streaming in for that version of Learn Anywhere. And that's the persistence that I'm talking about. He couldn't come to campus for personal reasons, and he pushed through and found a way to make it happen. And I appreciate that very much.
And I love that is because I've said this with all of you before, but if we tried to describe every single learning mode at Ivy Tech in infinite detail, there would be like 1,000 of them. We use these buckets, and Learn Anywhere is just another bucket, and we're going to put other creative alterations of it in that bucket. And that is a perfect one, Amanda, where the faculty member may not be in residence, but somebody else is that's there to support students. That's fabulous. As we think about the students, Amanda, you shared your story about how you found this to work for you, but what are some of the things that you think students need to think about if they're signing up for this, for a Learn Anywhere experience, and what do they need to know to be prepared?
I think from my past experience, I would tell students that you need to be aware and need to know when you need to come in, if it's at all possible. I shared a little bit about how in my own narrative, I kind of thought of key points when I needed to come in. And that was 2 times. One, when I wanted to meet the instructor. And 2, I remember running into a roadblock at one point in the semester and not being able to understand something. And so I came in and I was in person, and that allowed me to linger after class and then get connected to a tutor. So I would encourage any student to be successful, not to get frustrated if you're trying to do it off campus, and to know when to come in.
I'd say my number one rule that I always say to every student: don't panic. No matter what, do not panic. If the Zoom link doesn't work, if you thought it was Tuesday and it's really Wednesday, don't panic. We will figure it out. Like, talk to your faculty member and we will figure anything out. Whatever happens, we'll find a way to work through it. This is new and different for all of us, and we're all in this together. We're going to figure it out. We're going to get there. We're going to make sure you get the education that you're paying for and that you're trying to obtain. We'll figure it out. Okay, just don't panic. Let us know what's going on and we'll find an answer.
One of the things that I try to tell all students is know who you are and how you work and what you need. Ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Again, I love what Mia said about not panicking and not making choices for a Learn Anywhere course or any course always based on convenience. Do the right thing for yourself.
Kara, I think this method is a great opportunity for students to kind of, let's say, test the waters in a different modality than they're used to. I hear some students say, I can't do online, I hate online, and they've never tried it. So you can try it for 1 week and be like, you know what? I was right. This isn't for me.
Yep.
Or virtual, you may not think you understand Zoom. Try it one time. And then if it doesn't work, you still have these other options and these other ways to do it. So it's a great opportunity for you to figure yourself out. And you may find out, like myself, some courses I can do completely online. They're great. Other courses, I need to be in there, in the teacher space, front row, taking notes.
Right.
And you need to learn those things. That's part of what education is, figuring out how you learn best. So this is a great opportunity for our students.
Absolutely. What are some things you think faculty will need to do in order to truly be successful with this model of Learn Anywhere?
I think it's going to be important for faculty on our campuses to create their own community or cohort of sharing ideas back and forth. And that can be a challenge in our COVID state, in our isolated states where everybody's kind of coming and going at their specific times. And so I think I would like to help foster that community and that conversation with faculty, both before they get started and after they get going. So they feel like they have support in each other and in me.
The only thing that I would say for students is one of the skills that your next level of education or a career that you want to have, is adaptability. So I would encourage students who are successful with this modality to work that into their applications, their cover letters, their resumes.
I have one more tip. I taught communication previously. So I taught public speaking online. I've been teaching public speaking online for Ivy Tech, I think since January of 2008. So I've been teaching it for a while. And one of the common questions that students ask me when they're recording their speeches is, if I have people in the room, do I talk to the people or do I talk to the camera? And if they try to do both, it kind of gets a little awkward. And that's what our faculty are going to be faced with. They're going to have people in the room and they're going to have a camera. And so what I would advise is for the instructor to talk to the people in the room predominantly, because you express your emotions and you have a very natural conversational tone to people in the room. And make sure, if possible, that the camera is behind the people in the room, so it looks like you're talking to the camera and the people in the room. But by kind of speaking in the ways that we do according to social norms and nonverbals, when we're speaking to the people in the room, we're just a lot more natural than if we try to talk to the camera. So that would be a tip that I would give from my online public speaking experiences.
That is awesome.
Nice. I think a tip for faculty would be not to take yourself too seriously. Like, we know you're a professional. We know that you know the material and the content, but you're going to mess up. You're going to say the wrong word. You're going to get tongue-tied. All of these things are going to happen. It's fine. Like say that we're having a good time. It's okay. I think going in knowing that, I think will help them, do a better job at this.
Let go of perfection would be my tip. Just have, I love that, Mia. Just have a good time. Yeah. It's such a good tip. Such a good tip. All right. You guys were awesome. Yay. Every episode ends with a call to action. And for this week, I'm just going to encourage you to give Learn Anywhere another thought, and even maybe a try if you haven't considered it yet. If you're a faculty, and if you're a student, same thing. Give it a try. It is going to be new in your schedule this semester, or for fall semester, as an option for you. So take a look around, see if it's something you want to give an opportunity to, and try it. For our faculty and staff, I will also put in the show notes the college's official definition of Learn Anywhere. We tried to describe it for you today, and you can see what the official definition is. But don't get too caught up on that. Talk with your VCAA about it if you have any questions. All right. Thanks for joining this episode of Our College, Your Voices. I want to again thank the members of my panel today, Tammy Frankland, Amanda Harsin, and Mia Johnson. Thank you again, ladies. You were wonderful. I'm your host, Kara Monroe. You can connect with me on Twitter at KNM Tweets. You can reach us by email at ourcollegeyourvoices@ivytech.edu. Leave us a voicemail at 317-572-5049. Don't forget, you can always join our Microsoft Teams listener community if you're an Ivy Tech faculty or staff member. I send out instructions on how to do that every Thursday. Our website is ivytech.edu/podcast. Production assistance for this and every episode provided by Becky Campbell, Sarah Ferguson, and the Ivy Tech Community College marketing team. And our podcast concept is by Matthew Pittman. Theme music and post-production services provided by Jen Eads at the Brassy Broadcasting Company. We will talk to you next time on Our College, Your Voices.